This program is brought to you through the kind support of the Friends of That's What She Said. Support BCTV by visiting bctv.org/support.
It used to be great, now it's not so great, but it's still pretty great. Reading. It used to have lights, but it didn't have lights. New, with LED lights. Pagoda. Did they really say that? They did not say that. Yeah, they did say that. That's what she said.
Well, welcome to another episode of That's What She Said. We're calling this one, That's What She Barbecued. As you know, well, maybe you don't, BCTV is switching buildings. We're all very excited, but this month we couldn't be in the studio, so we thought we'd just come outside on Nicole's back porch and have a wonderful barbecue and do our show here. Our next show, which will be in the studio live after this, will be Wednesday, September 17th, as always at 9 o'clock. We're totally excited to see the new studio. Yes. It's going to be wonderful.
Yes.
And
I think that's a champagne night.
we have a special guest.
Celebrate.
Oh yes, that is a champagne night.
It's a champagne night.
Champagne dreams and cocktail weekends. I don't know. I don't remember what the saying was. Anyway, today we have a special guest at the end of the show who's going to prepare a special dessert for us. Some Morgan O'Shea, the maîtresse de Macaron, will be making wonderful macarons, and we'll be eating them.
Better yet.
I have to say a personal thanks to Nicole, who helped me make my my first sewing venture, this lovely caftan. Thank you, Nicole, so much.
My pleasure.
And also to the wonderful Miss Lee at Love It in New Orleans on Bienville Street, of all places, for my lovely outdoor hairwear. I might be switching when we go inside to watch the macarons. I don't want my feathers to go up in flames. So, anyway, I think that's taking care of everything. Oh, we won't, since you can't take calls, since we can't take calls because we're not here tonight, we will be live tweeting, so you can always connect with us during the show at She Tweets to Me. We'd love to hear from you. And who do we have? We're out of order.
Out of order.
You don't know how this. You know how I feel about change. So we have the lovely Martha in this fabulous frock.
Thank you.
Sheila, who is not knitting.
I am not knitting today.
And Nicole, and who's that on Go Live?
And our little man David.
And
that's why I'm not knitting. I needed my hands free to hold him.
Television debut.
Yes,
Yay,
welcome to the airwaves, David. Uh-oh, he's
Did not
he's a
appreciate
squirmy
the
little
applause.
thing. Oh, he's so cute. Well, oops, I have to move my phone out for the sun lest it go up in flames or whatever phones do. But since I have this in my hand, we were talking about cell phones in restaurants and how servers are finding that it's taking longer to serve their patrons because people are so anxious and so involved in their phones that they don't actually look at the menu or things. And I think actually Jamie told me a story about what some waiters are saying, because restaurants now have Wi-Fi. They're saying it takes longer because the customers are having tech issues with the restaurant's Wi-Fi, so the waiter's having to be a tech person. Now, I admit I do use my cell phones in a restaurant, and because I like to take pictures, and I like to check in and say, here I am, but I try not to be obsessive about it. I think everyone has to be cognizant of the company you're with and the company who is serving you.
I guess I'm just so old-fashioned that I find it offensive when I'm eating lunch at a really nice restaurant, and this has happened to me eating with a group of friends, and somebody says, "Oh, I had to take a call," and then we sit for 3 or 4 minutes listening to a call that very honestly did not have to happen. It was no emergency. And the other thing is, I've seen couples on dates in restaurants where one partner spent an awful lot of time eating a very expensive meal, but most of the time checking his cell phone. And unless he's a doctor, or a policeman or something like that. I see no reason for that.
Agreed. Jesse and I have, my husband and I have a no cell phone policy at dinner.
Really?
Yeah, and I feel very strongly about it. A friend of mine, her son was dating this girl. They're now married, and she pulled a cell phone out at the dinner table at their house one night, and the mom went, "Oh no! At our house, no cell phones at the dinner table. We are each other's company." And that, it hit home with me, and so I have a no technology at dinner policy, and when he gets older, that's going to stay.
He's not getting a phone either.
Yeah, because that's when you connect as a family.
Yes.
So when we go out to dinner, that's what we do. I mean, we check it here and there, but our goal is to be talking to each other. So
I mean, I think America. I think in Europe they have a little bit still more connection, but I think in America we've really lost that whole concept of family dinner and just this is the time we sit down and we're with each other.
Well, just enjoying food. I think
Indeed,
Europeans
yes.
take time to really enjoy food, but I don't understand going to a lovely restaurant, paying a lot of money for a wonderful meal, and spending most of the time on your cell phone. That just seems like, I don't know, besides being very rude, in my opinion, it seems like a waste of money and time.
Well, it does.
Go to Burger King.
They have wonderful Wi-Fi.
Right.
And speaking of beverages and food, thank you, Martha, for supplying us with our. What are we
Yet
drinking
again,
tonight?
We're drinking
Or today?
margaritas. We're drinking.
They're fantastic.
We're
They
drinking
are.
Jose Cuervo margarita mix because we're too lazy to mix our own.
But it's delicious. It's not just the mix; it has some alcohol in it.
Oh, it does. Oh, absolutely. It's pre-mixed. Pre-mixed foods. What can be better?
Mexico. I was there once. Oh, it was a horrible experience.
Really?
I was laying on the beach. What is it? Plata.
Playa.
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 Thank you, my dear. Plata. That's a
That
plate.
is a plural.
I was laying on the plate. And they served me at this restaurant. People were on their cell phones. It was just awful. I was on the playa there tanning, and I had forgotten to put suntan lotion on.
no.
And you see, I am very fair-skinned, and my goodness, it was. I had such a burn. I couldn't go out in public for about a month because I was just all bumpy, and it was. I stayed in an ice bath for weeks and
Years.
Oh,
Oh my
years.
goodness.
I still do it though. It's very comforting. And that was my worst vacation ever. Has anyone else had a horrible vacation?
my favorite vacation. I hope my mom and dad are watching this. We still talk about it. My dad believed very much in family vacation. Like he hated the beach, but we went to the beach once because he thought every kid should experience the beach. And my dad is fantastic. So he took us to DC one year to go to all the Smithsonian museums and to see all the monuments and stuff like that. And he booked us in this authentic hotel called the Hotel Harrington.
Hey, I like that name.
We called it Hotel Hell.
Okay, well.
We got in, and it was like, hadn't been renovated since the 30s. It was still the pull toilet thing, like you pulled the cord.
No.
The mattresses had all these stains on them. It was
dreadful.
disgusting. So my dad walked in that hotel room. He just turned like shades of red and purple and spent the entire night on the phone trying to find us another hotel. So we had to stay there. My mom made us like spread out towels and
I
stuff
would have
and
slept in
sleep
the
on
car. I would go, we're camping out in the cars tonight, kids. This is going to be fun.
After that, the trip was great, but that first night we were just like, oh, don't touch anything.
You're going to catch something.
Oh, it was bad.
That's amazing. How about you, Sheila?
Well, I mean, my issue has always been the sun. Like, if you see, this is why we're out of order today, because of the sun. I burn. I'm on actually medication that makes me burn fast. So, like more normally than I would. So, my nightmare is burning every time I go anywhere. Pretty much. So I've learned to stay out of the sun pretty much. I don't usually go out.
Even if you wear a heavy SPF, you.
Sometimes, depending on how long I'm out, I blister.
Well,
It's
you
pretty
like me
gross.
are. Well, you're very fair-skinned.
And I
We're
do.
all very fair-skinned women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I normally am out in the sun, I'm a little tanner.
Okay.
I just freckle. I don't tan.
I went to the beach one time when I was in grad school with an apartment neighbor of mine. Two of us she was even more fair-skinned than I. And we took my mother's convertible and we drove from State College, Pennsylvania to Wildwood.
Oh, that's
Top down, okay, top down, checked in at a motel. Next day we spent the entire day on the beach.
Oh no.
And it was an overcast day, so of course you don't get sunburn on an overcast
Oh
day.
no, I see where you're going with this.
That night, we went to bed, and it was a cheap motel. We had one queen-size bed, the two of us lying in it. We shook so much from chills. We were so burned
no.
from
Goodness.
chills. And the next day we were driving home, and I had to drive this way because if I leaned against the back of the seat, it was just hell. I mean, we were so sick and so sunburned, and we had a really good time until we realized how sunburned
Oh
we were.
no.
There seems to be a common thread here.
Yeah,
Stay out of the sun.
Stay out of the sun.
Or make sure you're protected if you do. Don't hit the sun aimlessly and thoughtlessly.
Well, I'm that generation that courted the sun with baby oil and iodine,
You sit outside
which
and
is
dry.
why I have all these brown marks on my skin now. So, ladies, as you get older, you pay for it. And
out
I
of the
realize
sun.
I'm doing that now.
Goodness. Well,
Yeah.
that's actually that's a good segue to our next topic. That whole, if we put, well, I don't know what I was going to say, but we'll go on anyway. It must be the sun messing with my mind. Well, we were talking about these lies we were told, that things that somebody asked us to believe that we just found out years later were just not true. Like if you eat an apple seed, it'll take root in your stomach and grow, and you'll have an apple tree in your stomach. So all these little things, mothers and children especially. Although I will say this, as he gets older, we'll have to convince him that he has a horrible disease called earlobes. And then he'll go and ask other children if he has earlobes, and they'll say, yes, of course you do. And it'll just be horrible.
Poor David.
All right, I guess we won't do that.
Poor little guy.
But does anybody else have any of those horrible things that...
I had a hard time thinking of this. The only one I can think of is my grandpa. I used to help him in the garden. That's where my love of gardening and natural world came from. And I would help him pick tomatoes. And the one time he goes, just be careful of those little green bugs, the aphids. I now know they're aphids. And I was like, okay, Grandpa. And I mean, my grandpa was my hero. He still is my hero. But at that time, like, just
Yeah,
anything
you
he said
idolized
was,
him
yeah.
pretty much.
He goes, yeah, because if those little green bugs bite you, you just start to turn green. I bolted out of the tomato patch and I went running up to my grandma. And she's
awesome.
and she was yelling at him. So yeah, that's the only one I could think of. But
That's a pretty traumatic one.
yeah, maybe there are still lies that I think are true.
Yeah. My mom, she kind of lied to us. You know, my mom, she loved to bake when we were younger, and she didn't want us eating the raw batter, so she would tell us that it would turn spots on us, which actually did happen to my sister.
Oh.
She was allergic to eggs. So there were spots involved, but I didn't get them. I still ate the raw batter.
There's Jamie's raw batter story.
Oh, Jamie has a raw
Because
batter
I like
story.
making cookies, but I like eating the batter
Yes.
before the bake because it's good.
That's the fun part.
But he always says, oh, if you eat the batter, you'll get worms.
That's so funny.
Have I gotten worms yet? No. Excuse me while I feel this.
You know, I'm a little bit older, so I mean, the old wives' tales that I heard were probably different from people.
Excuse us, we're passing the bottle. Oh, no, we'll pass the glass down. That'll be much more genteel.
One of the things I always heard was if you sit on cold cement during summer, you get hemorrhoids. That was my grandmother's thing. Oh, don't sit on the cold cement. On the hottest days,
You will get hemorrhoids?
you get hemorrhoids.
Oh my god.
That wasn't true.
Thank
The
you.
other thing that wasn't true
horrible.
was, and again, you girls, different generation. You know, when I was growing up, we didn't have, you know, sex very early because we had no protection. I mean, there was just nothing. The deal was that once you did it, you looked different.
Oh, so people could look at you and tell.
They would know.
Yeah, you would
and
see
you
it.
know what?
She's been deflowered.
You look in the mirror the next day,
You're like a woman.
and I looked exactly the same.
But I bet everyone else can see the difference. You couldn't see it. I bet everyone else noticed that you
Nobody
looked
came up
different.
to me and said, "Aha!"
Martha has been naughty.
Martha, you're absolutely glowing. Did you have sex? And to see
Okay,
there.
that's my last margarita.
Oh, I don't think so. I think the margarita's got to keep rolling here.
These are so good.
And David, what lies have you been told thus far?
Oh,
None
He
yet.
knows a couple things.
just that one about the earlobes.
Indeed. You're just taking notes.
Yeah, just that one lie about the earlobes.
Oh my goodness. Here we are. We should have background music here on this. Oh, I would probably interfere with. But I was listening earlier today because I recently went to New Orleans, as we all know, and I got feathers.
Charming.
Thank you.
Stunning.
Thank you very much. It draws my face in. I don't know, but I love it. But I was as I was getting ready to come here, I was listening to a little Kermit Ruffin and his New Orleans jazz blues stuff to pump me up for this show, and I really love that type of music. It's a good summer music. Well, it's a good anytime music, but it's especially a good summer music. What's your favorite summer music?
Well, I love Jimmy Buffett. Okay, I think that's my favorite summer music is Jamie Buffett because I'm pretty much of a classical music, Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms person, Mozart. But in the summer, I love.
She's
Jimmy
also a
Buffett.
parrot head.
I am a parrot head.
Nice.
Is that what they call them, parrot head?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that's what it was. I didn't want to be
Love
calling you a
Jimmy
terrible
Buffett.
name.
I always see those concerts listed in the paper,
Yeah.
the Parrot Head
Yeah.
Club getting
Never
together.
gone to those, but I do love Jimmy Buffett in the summertime. Goes with Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
right?
cheers to that.
I don't have any favorite summer music. I mean, I just love music in general. I don't, separate my music, by season, except for that dreaded
putting away the
Christmas
scotch and
music.
putting away the
But
I
Yeah.
love Christmas music.
I know you
Really
Just-
do.
don't.
Just wait
I do not
till our
love it.
Christmas episode when Sheila will sing a carol.
With my Grinch hat on.
I will join you. I don't like Christmas music either.
No. But I don't, other than that, I mean,
Makes
I don't
me
really have
sad.
summer music.
Speaking of classical, I only listen to Vivaldi's Four Seasons by season. Indeed.
One at a time.
It's like a song cycle, but for the seasons.
Perfect.
The other day I
Awesome.
listened to summer, and it was lovely.
And in a few weeks,
but
you'll listen to fall.
Indeed, it's. I think
do
it's the
with
way
the
one should do it. It's,
Makes sense to me.
that's it. As each planet aligns, when
kind of
you listen to a new planet. Oh my goodness. And I imagine you've been listening to lots of baby songs.
Yeah.
That's her summer music.
Yeah, my summer music has been every baby song on the planet.
Aw.
My husband found kids' tunes on the music stations on Comcast the other day, so that was 5 hours.
But
That's awesome.
actually,
And he
you were-
loved it.
You were singing some lovely tunes the other day when we were working on this.
I mostly make stuff up.
I think that's
You made it up
wonderful.
yourself.
Yeah. But I sing, I've gone through the entire repertoire of every children's song I know, so I need some input now on what we can sing.
Goodness. David, what's your
Pass
favorite?
out.
Yeah.
What is his favorite? What does he perk up most about?
I don't know. He likes more
talking.
upbeat songs.
Uh,
Actually, I've been seeing him a lot of Carole King.
Really?
Because
Wow.
I've run out of kids songs, and I'm like, these are lame. So
These
I
are
sing
grown-up
him.
songs. You
Yeah,
love
and
them.
I sang him some Beach Boys and some Beatles.
That's awesome.
He's an
They
oldies
start
kid.
school and start
Yeah.
singing those, and the kids look at him.
He
like,
needs some Cat Stevens in his life.
We listened
Oh,
to Queen
yeah.
the other day in the car, so.
Queen, yes.
we're losing him.
Yeah,
I think we lost
he's
him. He's out.
It's nap time.
He's done.
Oh, he is such an amazing little thing. I think
so
it's
quiet.
so wonderful that I can't describe it. I was saying to Jamie just the other day that babies are just such amazing,
magic.
strange creatures. It's like
Strange, yeah.
I couldn't explain it, but they are. They're just like little people, but different.
And we have a nephew. Isn't it wonderful that
Indeed.
Jane, we have
Yes.
a nephew?
Yes, we're all aunties.
You're all aunties.
We love that.
He's-
And what's this little T-shirt say?
Later, Gator.
Where's he going?
I don't know.
He's going to Naughty
He's
Land.
going to nap
Yeah,
time.
he's out.
Oh, all right. Well, it's that time of every show. I don't have. Oops, I don't know where my phone went. And now we play the secret topic music. Da, 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 da. I have the surprise topic tonight, and it's a sort of serious one. Let me take a sip for that.
Okay, but
All
I'm
right.
serious.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little upset because I was reading in a EW, the Entertainment Weekly, the entertainment magazine. No, they do sports. But there's a book I absolutely love called The Mists of Avalon, which is the Arthurian tale told through a more matriarchal female point of view, and it's a wonderful, amazing book. And this woman wrote in EW about how she's just discovered that Marion Zimmer Bradley, the authoress of the piece, it turns out that her husband was a molester, and that apparently she was too. So it was a big dissertation on how do you feel about the book now that you know the author was somewhat represhensible. Did it change the thrust of the book for you? And for her it did. Now there is a lot of sex in the book, and not typical sex. So I can see that it would be disturbing. But how do you feel? How do you all feel about that? Would knowing your author was one way, if you loved a book, would that change your love for the book?
I think it would.
Mine,
It would absolutely for me. I'm sorry, I don't have any wiggle room there, but I would have to say the fact that I would need to see the proof that they had been found guilty of molesting, and if that were the
serious
case,
accusation.
then I
Yeah,
have no
really.
wiggle room. Then I'm sorry, I can't.
You're done.
I can't do that. Child molestation is to me personally a
Oh, I
very
think to all of us
delicate
it
topic.
is.
I just, no. There is so much hypocrisy because we've stereotyped the molester as being some sleaze who slinks around dark alleys, and believe me, the most upstanding citizen may turn out to be a child molester, and so no. Enough said, no.
I actually heard, and I have no substantiation on this, so I'm not going to mention the author's name, but there's a thoughtful, humorist author who, a friend of mine, went to the same summer enclave as they did, and she maintained that he was untoward towards children. And
Yeah, that's it.
but I've never heard any other.
Yeah.
So
I need to have it.
pretty well documented before you. But it's an
that-
interesting thing.
It's a thing to say about somebody that will destroy lives if it's not
Yes.
true.
Right.
Definitely
It's
will.
not to be taken lightly. But if
No.
it's true, I'm sorry, no wiggle room.
Yeah, I can't support someone who would do that. So I wouldn't want to buy your book. I wouldn't want to support you in any way. My husband, there was a band he used to listen to, and I can't think of the band's name, but the lead singer they found out was
I know which
convicted
band
of-
you're talking about.
Yeah, convicted of child pornography, and it was huge. Like it was a huge,
It's like 27 counts or something like that.
more like way more
And it
than
was
that.
a really big band. I
It
just
was.
can't remember what.
Yeah, if my husband was here, he'd know it. But he said that he was done with them then too. It's just those are
Gross. That's
those
terrible.
are children. I think of my little kid, and God, like
That's
no.
disgusting. It's
I mean,
devastating.
I would. If I found out that something was happening to my child, I will straight up kill you. Like,
Yep.
don't even try it. It's just not right.
Man,
Well,
let's think of something happy. Let's
go back to a happy
have a drink and
topic.
sing some
drink
happy
to that.
thoughts.
Happy.
And while we're reconvening here, we will take a short break and enjoy the little BCTV graphic and take that number down because you should donate because they're a wonderful organization that hosts us here. And look at this wonderful new studio. Hey, yes, we're in the new studio.
temporary
We're in the
studio.
temporary studio. But all right, we'll be back on the other side of the break. See you soon. welcome back to That's What She Said, That's What She Barbecued. We really will barbecue after this. We thought we'd get this done and then just have fun. Kick up our heels and, well, not that we're not doing that now. But anyway.
I was going to say, I've been
Take
taking
our
off my
heels
heels.
off. That's true.
Yeah, it's too nice
I
out
do have
there.
to remind you, of course, we're not live because it's sunny and it's 9 p.m. and that just doesn't jive. So, we are not taking calls, but you can. We are live tweeting, so you can tweet us at She Tweets to Me, and we'll be happy to have a conversation with you. I'm sure somebody will tell me how to do that. And a reminder that our next show is on September 17th.
In our new home.
In our new home. And we do also want to thank BCTV, as always, for their wonderful support of our program. Now, there's a lot going on in the world these days. It's hard to say which fire is more important to put out. I think we should all put them all out.
There's a lot of hot topics today.
There are. I mean, the most recent, of course. Well, I don't know if it's the top of the list, but it seems is the shooting down of the Malaysian airline, which is just on its face a terrible thing. But then that the AIDS researchers were we lost. Who knows what research we lost in that thing? What is going on in the world?
And what about that family? You said something about a woman who lost her entire family on two different flights.
Yeah, on
from that
both
airline?
Malaysian Airlines. She lost some part of her family on the one that disappeared, and then double whammied and lost the rest of them on this one.
Oh my
and it's just
gosh.
her now. My heart goes
That's
out
horrible.
I had
to
not heard
everyone who lost family on these. I can't even imagine the heartache. I can't even
Especially her,
imagine.
though. I mean, she lost everybody on
Yeah.
two separate flights.
And you have no answers. You have no answers.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and apparently yesterday, from what I heard, the separatists weren't allowing them to remove the bodies
I read that
Really?
from the
too.
field.
Yeah.
So for 2 nights, the
Why
bodies
is
were still
that?
out in the field.
Is it a
Because
religious
they're-
thing?
Because I have no
Good.
idea. And
Jane has her
and I don't want
opinions.
to judge, but really the humanitarian gene seems to be missing or easily
Really?
overridden. And I guess the thing that I worry about, and the thing that hasn't been in the news very much lately, is those 250 girls in Nigeria
Yeah, that's
who are
Oh my
still
gosh.
missing.
that's gone off that little
And I
news
am
cycle, hasn't
so
it?
upset about that. I just, apparently they know where they are.
And
We have
nobody's doing
offered to
anything.
help them.
Now, there was some little blip that was like 86 of them escaped.
Yeah, but I
Really?
think that was of another group. That was of
Not the
another group. They
Nigerians.
have.
All right.
I just, me,
So it's
I
more
did
than
this
just the
last
Nigerians,
show.
it's a lot of
Crimes
girls.
against children, to me, there are world's hope, and anything that involves cruelty to children or inhumanitarian attitudes toward children, I can't
There's a
about
lot of inhumanity going on
it. Absolutely,
right now.
absolutely.
Like Gaza Strip right now.
Indeed.
And the bombings. It's just a mess.
It is, and it's stuff happening all over the world. But sometimes you see stuff happening right here in Reading.
Yeah,
I went
yeah.
to CVS the other day, and I saw some woman beating her child because he spilled something he was drinking. I was like, really? Seriously, in front of everybody, no shame at all.
Oh my
And this
goodness.
kid was a baby. He was like maybe I don't know 2, like toddler size. He could barely walk. He was like still doing the Frankenstein.
Well, I was sitting
A
on,
little
on
tiny
my
baby.
porch the other night, and up a couple houses up, the parent was screaming at the child. I mean, it's
Yeah, like,
a
why?
child.
Stop.
You need to pay.
Kids don't know as much as
No.
you think they do.
and
Just because
we've
they're
done-
smart about one thing doesn't mean they understand.
Well, I think it's because the
everything.
parents don't know as much as
But
they
we're
need
doing
to know.
all
Yeah.
kinds of
Right.
things for parents. There's just an article in our local paper that I've gotten used to as being a local paper, and it does a good job of covering local news. That said, but there are
We all
all
know which
sorts
paper
of
that
things
is.
for mothers and for parents. There are hospital drop-offs for babies. Just take your baby in.
Yeah, if you
no
don't want
questions
them.
asked. Put it in there if you can't handle it.
You have 30 days.
Yeah.
If in the first 30 days of that child's life, you decide, I can't handle this financially, physically, emotionally, there is a place at the hospital you can leave your baby.
Well, I think that's
they're-
wonderful, and more parents should.
Hospitals are
Yeah.
doing parenting classes, and Nicole, you're going to find this. There really are those times when you almost lose your temper with your child, and you may do something.
But that's what separates an adult. An adult
That's right.
doesn't.
Right, you realize
That's
it's a
right.
child and like
You
pull yourself
step
down and
back.
figure it out.
There's no manual. That's the other thing with parenting. There's no manual. Baby doesn't pop out with a manual of how to do this.
No,
Like a
they
driver's
certainly
license
don't.
manual.
You don't have a manual. He doesn't come with a
And speaking of other things that get me riled up, and I'm sure everyone else, I despise the ripping out of the dictionary and totally twisting it around, the misuse of the word patriot lately. The patriot has become almost, in my mind, an epithet. Patriot used to be somebody who cared for this country and worked to make this a better, lovelier, more caring place. Because basically this nation was founded on being in a welcoming place where people went to. It's the melting pot.
Right.
And now nobody wants that. No one wants more things thrown into that pot. And
That's what makes everything so amazing and different
indeed,
from other countries.
and just patriots are someone who care about this country. And I see so many people
thinking it's about
cloaking
being
themselves in the
born
mantle.
in America.
Indeed.
And it means caring about this country, but not just those people who are of like mind, or like color, or like gender. And I think, the founding fathers, to me, were patriots. They didn't. If you think about what they did, the revolution, standing up to England and kind of giving England the magical digit was incredible. But, I think history judges who the patriot is. And
Right.
Snowden may very well become a patriot, and he is in some people's eyes. But I think the future will have to judge. Was LBJ in the civil rights movement, was he considered a patriot at that time? Well, no. But now when we think about what he accomplished in spite of the Vietnam War, let's consider this. It's just a hard word to define.
It is, but I think what at its base it should be a positive word.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
it is no longer
No.
a positive
No,
word.
because it's become confined. If I am a patriot, I am of like mind to those people. Those people who think about me or think like me, they're patriots. The rest of you are anti-American. That's so wrong.
But that's part of the problem is,
Everybody has their mindset.
everyone has their mindset, but part of
There's
I think
stuff
part of the
there.
definition of being a patriot is I should be able to question
Yes.
things that are being done
Yes.
to me and about me. I consider myself a patriot because I care what happens to me in this country. And I should be allowed to question, and I should be
Yes.
able to differ in opinion from one person
Absolutely.
to the other. And I think that's a major problem that's happening in our politics today, is there's so much separatism. It's us against them. Well, hold on a second.
It's not.
It may be us and them, but we're still cloaked under one larger term of American. And shouldn't that have us still working on the same team? Like, I can definitely question
Everybody
you.
has the
But I
same
think
goal,
that's
but they're
the
going
same
different
right.
execution.
Yeah, I think that's the big
But we
problem.
have become so polarized that for me to say, I'd like to hear your opinion, and you have some good points, is almost treason.
Yeah, exactly,
And
exactly.
that's what
Well,
we are just polarized.
we've decimated that middle ground.
We have.
It's here or here. We can't meet here and have similar ideas and find consensus on a good solution to anything.
The word
no one's willing to
compromise is
compromise.
not
Yes,
a four-letter word.
Exactly.
Indeed.
It is now. I mean,
Yeah,
Everybody wants things
You're
their
right,
way, and
you're
this
right.
is the
It
only
is.
way.
yeah. I think that every politician should teach for a month, because you will learn
Yes.
compromise in such an
Have to.
epic way.
Without a teacher's
A room
aid.
full of like 30 children.
Yeah.
I mean, you're bound to get a handful of different opinions.
Compromise is how you get through your day.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it
Seriously.
is. Well, I don't know.
We are patriots just by talking about this openly.
And I dressed like a
think, yeah.
patriot last month.
You did
You
it.
did.
Didn't I? I had
That's
my
right.
red,
You
white,
did
and
good.
blue on.
You
My
did, and I think it's important that we all keep an open mind about things and not and find as much knowledge from as many sources, so we're well-rounded people.
Remember
Yeah.
the license plates that say America, love it or leave it?
yes.
But the thing is, you can love someone and not like what they're doing at the moment.
Right. And I think that's where the Snowden thing comes in.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
he revealed something that's not very flattering
Right.
about what happens in this country, but it's happening.
Right.
And
It's
isn't it
not
our right to know?
necessarily wrong for revealing
Yeah.
it,
Indeed.
even though
And we
he's
can't
being
ignore it.
judged for it.
Yeah.
Sorry, just I just
Gina was having a moment.
I was having a moment. I was I was at the grocery store the other day, and I had to use the little ladies' room, or the big ladies' room as it is, and I came out, and you know, you think these things don't happen. But I'm walking through the store, happily shopping after doing my thing, and suddenly I realize I have a tail. And not a short tail, rather sizable tail.
Oh, the tail.
I had toilet paper out of the ladies' room.
And nobody told you.
Nobody told me.
Oh my gosh, they let
took
you
me-
parade
I
around
was
like
like
that?
I was like a low rent. I was like a low rent bride with my train trailing behind me. And
I always had the issue with tucking. I went to Catholic school. I had the issue of running to
Tucking
the
the
bathroom
skirt.
between classes, and I'd rush out with my skirt tucked
Tucking
in.
your panties.
And this is why I don't wear skirts. Like
Right.
it's really, and you know, I love dresses, but I just don't wear.
I was
Just don't wear
mortified.
panties.
No, stop.
Sorry, I know that wasn't a gentle segue, but it just occurred to me.
Bunnies rule our
But it's
neighborhood.
humanitarian. Again, tell someone, excuse me, but or there's a commercial on television.
How do you do
right
that
now.
gently?
I
Excuse
have a
me.
friend who's too embarrassed
I've
to tell
done it.
people
Yeah,
that.
I've done it.
Somebody
She'll
go
tell
up
you
and
the
step
next
on the
day.
toilet seat.
My friend tells you
Oh,
the
well,
next day that something happened that you
Well,
you had toilet paper on your shoe yesterday, but I was too embarrassed to tell you. I'm like,
Honestly,
what?
I tell people.
Say something.
I have no problem telling people.
Me too, because
I
they
want
would
someone
want
to tell me.
Yes, you cannot walk around
I
like
had a
that.
student
Let's help
who
each
told me
other.
one time I came back from the lavatory, and my skirt was hitched up in my pantyhose. And before the class came in, I'm writing on the board, and this little girl came up and she said, "Excuse me,
Your butt's
Mrs.
out."
Richards, your skirt's caught in your pantyhose." I nearly died. She was very polite. She sat down. Nobody laughed. I turned around, pulled it out, and we went on. But I mean, I could have gone.
You wanted to die.
Nobody would have told me for the whole class.
Wow,
I think that's good. I think
you gotta help each
it's
other.
a support thing. I mean, I decided years ago that women need to support each other.
Yes,
We do too much of this
absolutely.
catty crap these days. So if
Yes.
somebody's wearing something I like, I don't care if they're a stranger, I've known them 20 years.
Me neither.
I'll say,
I'm like,
that's a
nice
great on
dress.
you.
Some
Yes.
tags in the back of your shirt.
I tell people about that too. And I'm a groomer. I pull hairs off.
All right,
Sorry.
Our producer is wildly waving at us, saying, "Move on."
sorry.
We've embarrassed ourselves enough with our tales of woe.
No more skirts in the bathroom.
No more
What happens
tags
when you
sticking
drink
out.
margaritas?
Just don't use the restroom while you're in public. That's the safest thing. Just hold it to your home.
Good luck with that.
And now, a short episode because our producer Jamie insists we can't do a show without it. Celia,
Celia.
country reporter by Laura
I
Vitray.
hope she's dragging toilet paper.
Well, we'll see.
Her skirts up to her pantyhose, maybe.
Let's see. I will do it.
They had to do that back in the 30s, right?
It was 1:20, and Millie, May, and Celia were all three back at the newsroom when the telephone on Millie's desk rang. She had a brief conversation and hung up. "Well, May, here's the excitement you craved. A murder?"
Oh,
May
my
asked hopefully.
Yay.
What is wrong with May?
It's Lana.
No, nothing like that. But that was the state police headquarters, and it seems that the parents of a girl out there at camp came up from New York for the water show tonight. Oh, a water show. It has a water show.
Right, water.
They brought along their 4 younger children. Early this morning, they drove over to the White Mountain Forest, beyond Bartlett, beyond Bartlett, the White Mountain Forest, where they parked the car and they all went for a hike through the woods. They didn't notice that the 6-year-old boy had wandered away from the others, and so now he's lost. Lost in the forest, that's right. The parents have been searching for him for hours. Now they're frantic. They ought to be. How could they be so careless? City people simply don't realize the danger of the deep woods. And I think that's something we should all take to heart. We don't realize the danger of the deep woods.
I do.
So
I
stay
never
out of
go
the
in the
deep
woods.
woods.
Never go to the
Worse
woods.
than your kid.
I'm a city girl. We do not go in the woods in my
quotes of
house.
the day.
Not in the
Now,
woods.
before we run out of time, I want you were talking about a very interesting topic about fast and slow thinking, and I want you to
Oh, that was
tell us
interesting.
tell
Okay.
us all about that.
Well, it's a book called Thinking Fast and Slow, and it's by Kenneth Coleman. It's a very interesting book, and it talks about the times when your intuition, which can be very correct, is not correct, and the things that affect the validity of our intuition. And one of the things was in tests that children have taken, if the print is in a very light font, or if it's in a hard to read kind of blurry font, they will take time and read the question and more often answer it accurately. If it's printed, because they'll take time. If it's printed clearly and in large type,
they breeze
through it and take the first obvious answer.
I have done
Here's
that.
an example. A lake has a lily pond in it, some lily pads. Every day the group of lily pads increases, it doubles itself.
Okay.
It takes, in 47 days, the lily pads completely covered the lake. How long did it, 47 days, how long did it take for them to cover half the lake?
This is math. I can't do this. There's no way.
Right. Jamie knows. You can shout
That's
out
me
the
and my
answer.
fast thinking. I can't do math at all.
You don't have to do math.
Day 39,
It
or whatever,
takes-
like one less than the last
It takes
day.
46 days
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it doubles itself
Oh,
every
right.
day. It took 47 days to fill the lake.
I'm gonna blame the market.
47,
Yeah.
46 is one
See,
day.
that sounded like math to me.
5 machines make 5 widgets in 5 hours.
This is a tongue twister. This isn't it. Anyway.
How long will it take 100 machines to make 100 widgets?
Wait. 5
5
machines.
hours.
That's right.
Oh,
That's the teacher brain.
One widget takes one machine 1 hour or 5 hours.
Right.
Doesn't matter how many, as long as each widget has one machine working on it. But anyway, the book is fascinating. It sounds not fascinating, but it goes through all the things that haze our thinking.
Do the example you did when we were
Oh,
all
yeah.
together.
yeah, I like
Because
that
was-
example.
Okay, a man goes into a store and wants to buy a bat and ball. The bat and ball together costs $1.10. The bat cost $1 more than the ball. How much did the ball cost?
We'll give you a moment to cogitate.
See, and I guessed this wrong. I guessed that the bat cost $1.
All right.
But that's what everybody guesses.
Now
Yeah, because I'm a fast
Now
thinker.
you have an
very
answer in
hazy
your head.
thinker.
What's the answer?
The answer is, and everybody says, Sheila, everybody says
Everyone
what you
says
did. In
$1.
fact, a friend of mine's husband, who is a civil engineer, argued with her for an hour because that was his
Thought
answer.
he was right.
You have to listen. The bat cost $1 more than the ball. The total cost was $1.10. The ball cost 5 cents. The bat cost $1.05.
Oh.
It makes so much sense when you
It's,
hear
It
yeah,
does,
it
when
makes
you
sense,
explain
but
it.
again, you have to be
And
careful.
who's this
of
book
your-
by? And what's it called?
Tennis, oh God, Dan Kalman, I think it's Kahlman. It's called Thinking Fast Slowly.
Excellent. I don't mean to rush you, but we have to get inside because we're going to make macarons
Yay!
now.
Woo!
Macarons. So we'll see you in the kitchen. And now, I've made a jello mold, a savory jello mold. It's a lime cucumber, wonderful thing. And we're going to try to unmold it, and hopefully it'll work. Let me get it out of the fridge. It looks like this now. It'll look amazing when it's provided it actually comes out of this mold. We may be sucking it up with spoons. I'm going to dip it in some hot water.
It still tastes good.
And we invert it all on the plate, and we do that, and
Yay!
Way to go.
and we have release.
David liked that too.
That was beautiful.
Look at that.
Look how pretty it is.
Hey, it's beautiful.
So Nicole, in addition to all your agricultural talents and your theater talents, we also have culinary talents. So what are you making?
I am making what I call deconstructed kebabs. Mostly because the act of putting them on the kebab just takes forever. And I found that this is much faster. I took a pork loin and cut it down, which is honestly the best cut of meat if you're gonna do kebabs, by the way. And I put them in a Jamaican jerk sauce. I've got some sweet peppers and green peppers and zucchini and yellow squash in the same thing. And then I've got portobello mushrooms and asparagus in just like a savory marinade.
I love the stickless kebab.
Yes.
It's like
all the flavor, half the effort.
exactly. Perfect. Well, thank you, and we're looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Well, here we are. Look at this wonderful.
yum.
That's what she ate spread.
Yum.
Well, that's what she's going to be eating. It's what is that, Nicole?
Smells insane.
Jamaican jerk pork.
Yay.
Which she grilled out there on the grill. And
Still hot.
veggies and
Delicious.
Asparagus
veggies.
with portobello mushrooms.
I've known one or two. They were fabulous. And Nicole, and Sheila.
I made rice and beans.
Oh, yum.
And
Those are arugula or something like that.
And Jamie made the what is it, Jamie?
Georgia caviar.
Oh,
fabulous.
Delicious.
So good.
It's basically like black bean salsa, but
But best thing
amazing.
out of Georgia ever.
Indeed. And I, as threatened, made my fabulous Jello mold.
It's a gorgeous Jello mold.
It's
It is
lime
fantastic.
cucumber Jello mold. And now
is
we're going to stop
beautiful.
filming because it's time to eat.
It is beautiful.
And we were hungry for dessert, and we have a very special dessert for us today. You notice there's an additional lady in our midst. This is Morgan, who is also known as the Macaron lady, La Femme de Macaron. And she's going to teach us how to make macarons today. Now, not macaroons, which is a coconutty thing.
right.
This is a macaron.
We work with Sweet Addictions Bakery, which is located up in 7th Avenue in West Reading. Do lots of custom orders, baby showers, bridal showers, weddings, things like that. So we'll be demoing how I make them anyways. There's many ways to make them. To have a Facebook page, if you go to facebook.com/themacaronshop10, you should find our page. It should pop right up. And then our contact information is there. It's themacaronshop@yahoo.com if you want to contact us by email. And then phone number is on there. What I have here is a stand mixer. You can also use a hand mixer and a bowl as well. I actually have my main ingredients already pre-measured, but usually you want to have them measure them out on a kitchen scale. The other thing you want to have ready to go is your piping bag. You don't have to necessarily use a piping bag. You can also use just a regular gallon size bag. I always recommend though, you want to kind of twist off the tip there, put a little clothespin at the end, and then situate it in some kind of vase, large container, or I have a large beverage pitcher here, so that it's all ready to go when you need to pour your batter. This is a baking sheet. Yes, a baking sheet ready to go. I use a little template up underneath and some parchment paper, but you can use a silicone baking mat if you have a lot of those hanging around, but they're like $20 each. So these are easy. You can throw them away after you're done. So first things first, there are many different ingredients to this. Not too many actually, I lie. But the first ingredient would be your egg whites here. So I have some egg whites already measured here. Room temperature is usually the best thing you want to do. I'm not giving out exact measurements for this, by the way, too, because this is my secret recipe. I cannot give that out. So I have those, and they'll go into the hand mixer here, or the stand mixer, or hand mixer if you have one.
Now, do you find chickens that only give out whites?
I wish they had them because I go through a lot of yolks, and I have to toss the yolks out.
All right. Well, I thought that
It
might
would
be your
great.
secret.
It would be great if they did, but they don't.
Yolkless egg supply.
Yes, you can get the egg whites in the carton, but I think this is probably a little bit better. And then this is going to be the other main ingredients, your confectioner sugar, powdered sugar, and then also your almond flour. So this is what you're going to use on your kitchen scale. Get yourself a bowl, yourself a sifter, put that over there, measure your ingredients in there, work it out. Just to get all the extra big chunks of almond flour out of there so they don't get into your batter. So we have our egg whites in here. What we're going to do is turn the hand mixer, or not the hand mixer, I keep calling this a hand mixer, it's a stand mixer. So it's going to get a little loud. And these are gluten-free? Yeah. Oh wow, that's cool. Gluten-free, yep.
I know it's a big thing right now. I gotta watch it.
I should know of it. So we let this go a little bit, and then what happens is it starts to get a little foamy, kind of like you're in a bubble bath. And that's when you want to start adding some of your granulated sugar. I have a little bit of granulated sugar here. I won't use all of it. But you only need about a little bit under, I'd say like a half teaspoon or less. I'm making a half a recipe of my macarons, so I really don't need that much. And you just keep bumping up the speed as you need to. So it's starting to get a little foamy. I don't know if you want to see it. There's little bubbles forming.
Looks like there's soap in it.
Yeah. Looks like it's starting to whip up. So we're basically making an egg white meringue. So we're going to add our sugar here, just a little bit. Let that work a while. It will, yes. We're going to try and make a very, very stiff egg white meringue. If you wanted to make a flavored macaron with like cocoa powder, you want to add that to your dry ingredients. And then if you're going to make something with like lemon zest, lime zest, you want to add that to your liquid ingredients, but only at the last second. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add some of this in here. Now this isn't completely done yet. It's getting there though, but once it's almost ready, that's when you want to kind of add your food coloring. So we're going to do a little blue and a little bit of the pink here. Make ourselves some purple.
Ooh, that's more of a gel.
Yes, I use gel-based actually. If you use the liquid stuff, it adds too much liquid to your egg whites. These are very, very finicky, so you have to be careful what you're adding.
Oh my
so
God,
right
I
about now,
almost
this
fell
is what you're looking for. So if you
so
put this
pretty.
over Jane's head, it won't fall out. That's how you know it's ready to go.
Feels like my hair. Oh my goodness.
So now we're dumping in our confectioner's sugar and our almond flour.
Those are the simplest ingredients. Egg whites, sugar,
easy.
confectioner's sugar, and almond flour.
Except this part. This is the part that's the most important part. So Nicole's had a few of my macarons, so if you've ever had one that's
A few.
that's really, really big and odd shaped, or if it's really small, it's because I either over or I undermixed it. So I use the same template for every single batch of macarons, but this is the part that you either make or you break it with this thing here. So a lot of recipes will tell you to fold and be very gentle with your egg whites, not to deflate them. I just kind of, what I do just to not add extra air is I plop this right in the middle and then I just kind of turn it around clockwise, counterclockwise, just to kind of get it going a little bit.
Now, did you ever take any culinary classes or no? So this is all self-taught.
This is what happens when winter is really bad and you get bored. You just start to do something like
You
this.
started playing around and you figured this out.
Yeah. So
amazing.
once your ingredients are pretty well incorporated like that, this is the fun part. So if you had a bad day, you can kind of let out a little bit of aggression. So you just you smack it around a little bit. Actually, I do this about 8 or 9 times. And
why do you do that?
This is just to deflate some of the egg whites and then also incorporate the almond flour and egg white mixture. Now, if I were to move this around 1 or 2 more times, it would have been all over. If I would have stopped short by 1 or 2 strokes, it would have not turned out either.
So it's all a visual thing.
It's all you go by feel. And like I mentioned before, make sure that if you're using a piping bag or even one of your gallon-sized bags, that you just have this clothespin off so that the batter doesn't run through. Then you can kind of do whatever you need to do before it's time. So now that we have all the batter in there, I'm going to work it towards the top. And then the trick with this is I always start left to right. You just kind of go about it however you want. You want to make sure to fill it till it's about 1/8 of an inch to the edge of your template. You don't want to go fully all the way to the edge of the template because you're going to actually bang your baking sheet down on the counter here just to kind of alleviate more air, and that'll spread them out a little bit more there too. So I'm just going to get started here, and you don't need to go around in a circle or anything like that. You just kind of go right in the middle, and it should flow out, and you just push it, and then just go to the next one. They may or may not turn out perfect every time, but this makes
It's like paint.
it does. Like a periwinkle.
Meanwhile, you're going to be heating your oven to what?
Actually, you won't be heating your oven right
So
away.
you're not going to,
No, these actually have to sit for a long period of time where they dry out, actually. Sometimes that can take a long time. I'm talking like 3 hours for me to dry. And when I say dry, I mean you want to kind of touch the tip of it with your finger, and if it sticks, then it's not ready.
Okay.
If it's firm all the way around, then you know it's ready to go. Just kind of push it down and squeeze it down.
Oh, I'm scared.
You got it. That's all right. And then just lift up, and go to the next one then.
It's dripping. Oh,
That's
shoot.
okay. That's okay.
Oh my God. It's leaky.
It's different.
It is.
All right.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Mine looked like the smears.
Much like your pretzels do.
Yes, I need to.
That's all right. They can look awkward but still taste good.
Yeah.
So now this is when I take the template out, actually. You want to remove your template at this point. And then this is the part where you want to kind of get all those air bubbles out. So then you just want to hit it on your counter about 1 to 2 times. So you just hit it once and I
it makes
spin
it
it.
nice and flat.
It's not even gentle.
And you just go about that way. So
Just because I'd be wearing it if I did that.
I know.
Purple.
Yeah, I have a couple more if somebody else wants to do some more. I'm gonna let this off to the side. If somebody else wants to do some piping.
Oh no,
Go on.
Just got a bath the other night.
It's a little awkward. Sometimes it's helpful to hold it from the top. Like hold it upwards like this. Hold it up like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It drips fast.
And you gotta go
it
quick.
leaks out really fast.
That'll be a big one.
Oh, wow. It's hard.
Alright, so you kinda wanna hold it like this and then just go down
All right.
and pipe and move. Yeah.
Look at that.
Lenses keep it from falling out.
I know.
Lucy, make.
Jane is an expert.
There you
Jane, you're
are.
excellent.
Natural. Look at you.
I got
You know what you
competition
can
now.
do.
So I have some ready to go. These are just plain shells, so we're just gonna demonstrate, fill them a little bit today. Just wanna put a little bit in the middle and then it spreads itself out. Usually it helps if you put it right in the palm of your hand, like this.
And then squash it, like,
squash
together.
it with your palm,
Okay.
yeah.
Let me try it again, now that I'm an expert.
Yes, they're notorious for breaking.
They're so fragile, they're like
Yes.
thin
Sheila, I
wafer.
think you're a natural.
Look at
Look
that.
at that.
All right. Yeah, you just can't stick your fingers in
Yeah.
because then they will
Yeah.
smash right in your hand
Right,
like that.
purple's raspberry lemonade. I actually did that one for an order. That's not usually the color, but that's just
I like that teal one because
This
it
one's
matches the color of my
blueberry.
dress.
That is beautiful.
That's which one is that?
And
Blueberry.
she does
Blueberry.
custom
Gorgeous.
orders
This is
for
Nicole's.
weddings and baby. She did my baby shower and all kinds of things.
Vanilla, strawberry,
the way-
passion fruit.
It's like almost
Look how
metallic.
shiny it is.
That's got a little
is
spray on
See
it.
the shininess.
That's beautiful.
Raspberry lemonade. This is a caramel as well. It's dulce de leche and passion fruit, strawberry,
amazing.
wildflower.
They
They are
honey.
absolutely
Great.
delicious. Thank you, Morgan, for
Thank
being
you
with
for
us
having me.
today.
Thank you,
and,
Morgan.
and
Thank
letting
you.
us eat your treats.
Yes.
We're so glad you were bored.
Yes.
I've been to enough.
Well, thank you for being with us on this wonderful pre-taped episode of That's Hush Nicole. She's losing it. We will be live on September 17th. Remember, we'll be in our new home. We want to thank BCTV. We want to thank Morgan O'Shea. And I would like to
Yes.
personally thank Donna Lynn for my lovely feather wig head and actually Nikki McCoy at Fifi Mahoney's, also in New Orleans, for my other lovely do.
I love it.
Thanks, ladies. I'll have to come back to New Orleans soon and get some more hair. But it's been a wonderful time, and we'll see you on September 17th. Have a good month. We'll be seeing you soon.
Au revoir,
Cheers.
Jamie.
And Jamie.